A lot of people wondering, what did the Attorney General mean when he said that we would have to take action against those who might be going too far with their lockdowns? What is too far? Who was he talking about? This is protests have sort of spread out all across the country over provisions that a lot of folks who are getting impatient with these stay-at-home provisions are saying are way too much. Judge Andrew Napolitano, on all of that. You know, Judge, it seemed he was very clearly sympathetic to a lot of these protesters, but by taking the next leap, say, all right, yeah, I might have to look into this. What is he saying?
Well, I was surprised to hear him say it. Of course, we know his boss's position on all this, but just as a lot of the edicts by governors and mayors are very vague, and when things are vague, the courts are reluctant to enforce them, the Attorney General was a little vague by saying going too far. I suspect by going too far, he means, are they trampling on, are the gubernatorial orders and edicts and guidelines trampling on express rights mentioned directly in the Constitution, like the right peaceably to assemble and tell the government what you think of it. That right has been respected in Austin, respected in Michigan, not respected in New Jersey. So because these are constitutional rights, rights that the federal government is bound to protect, the Attorney General is looking for some sort of equilibrium, some sort of sense that they are respected all over the country.
So if he's calling into question some states that might go too far, Michigan comes to mind, where they changed a lot of the rules on, you can buy a canoe, you can't buy a motorboat, you can't cross the street to see a relative. I'm simplifying it here to say that was sort of like add-ons that didn't make much sense. And I could see the protesters getting angry about that no matter how they assembled. I mean, you could raise clear health and medical issues by getting so close to each other and making a bad medical situation worse. But was he specifically saying about governors who overreach or all the governors who are doing this?
I think he's talking about governors who overreach. Now, one person's overreach is another person's scientific necessity, and that's the problem that we're in now. Right. And that problem is going to manifest itself in the following ways. After the pandemic is over, when the courts have reopened and people are prosecuted for violating these gubernatorial edicts, a lot of judges are going to say, I think, well, this was just the governor's edict. This wasn't legislation enacted by the legislature, so you can't prosecute somebody for this. I'm going to throw the prosecution out. The other thing that I think he's talking about is we have begun to see litigation filed by businesses which have said, I can operate my business and still comply with Dr. Fauci's regulation about face masks and 6 feet of distance because my business does not involve the public. If you don't let me open up my business, I'm going to go to court and explain to a judge why I should be able to open my business. I believe the Department of Justice is going to side with the plaintiff, the business owner, in that hypothetical litigation that I've just attempted to summarize, Neil.
Very well summarized. I get it. Judge, continued good health. Be safe, my friend. Thank you very much. Judge Andrew Napolitano.